Hello, everyone. I'm Shruti Bohra, and you're listening to Expert Matters, the show where we learn from people who have built inspiring careers and share lessons you can actually use in your career journey. Today's guest is Aniket Raj, currently a product manager at Flipkart. With past experience at Magic Brick, Spinny, Walmart, and Philips, he has worked on products that have reached millions of users, improved user engagement, and driven real business impact. So, from tech to product, his journey is full of insights for students looking to break into the industry. Thank you so much, Aniket. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Ruchi, for your warm welcome, and looking forward to have a great interaction with you and share my insight, whatever I have in learning my journey as a first. So yeah, looking forward.
Perfect. Can you please help us understand about your career journey so far so that we can ask you a lot of questions today?
Yeah, sure. So basically, I did my undergraduation from NIT Silchar in computer science, and I passed out in 2018. And after that, I worked for around 3 years as a software developer and senior software developer in Philips. And during that time, only somewhere, see, I have this tendency to talk to people, right? I love to talk to people and to interact with them. And during that tenure in my Philips, I was working closely with my product manager who was there with me, and working closely with her, I got to know that okay, hey, the work that she's doing, right, it is very impactful in terms of the business outcomes, in terms of the interaction she's doing with other people. So I was doing for the software development and other things, and I was loving that. There was no doubt about it. But at the same time, it is something more kind of a back end driven process, not more kind of front end, which I would love to work towards, right? And as I said, I have been interacting a lot of people and love to talk to people. So that point of time, I thought that okay, MBA is something which I would like to explore because there is something where I can have a different option in my career. It can be product management or consulting, but somewhere in my mind, I had a pre-bias of product management, if I say, because I was working closely with my PM and I have seen that uh, sector, how it works. So then give my CAT, and then I entered into the IIM Kozhikode to do my 2 years of MBA. And during that only, I interned with the Walmart. So I got a chance to intern with the Walmart in their product management. And there, basically, I was working with the Canada and Mexico e-commerce market. And it was so fascinating work, if I say, right, in the terms of the PM. They're working closely with those customers. So that point of time, I totally got involved, and it was like a what do you say, confirmation of your bias that okay, I want to go into product management. So this is something where you know that hey, this is something that you are going to love it and you're going to work it. So then I completed my MBA. I joined Magic Breaks as a full-time product manager, and then from the Magic Breaks, I transitioned to the Spinny, and both Magic Breaks and Spinny, I was working closely with the customers and on the entirely on the customer side, working on their user engagement, retention, conversion, everything on to the end-to-end funnel and looking on to the scale of the product, scale of the consumers that they have. So that was totally loving it. And then I changed my career from like classified marketplace to totally e-commerce. So I joined Flipkart here as a product manager. Now here I have been looking on to the retail side and to the seller side. So yeah, so this has been journey as of now.
That's like a fully fledged career in all ways possible.
Yeah, I mean, yes, yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Amazing. So, like you mentioned, you started from software engineering and now you're into product management. The transition, I'm really, really sure that it wasn't so smooth. So, it takes a lot of hard work and it takes a lot of decision making skills. So, what should students know if they want to make such switch in their career?
As you said, it is not easy, right? I mean, when you are in a job in a software development or you have taken something like that, and your life is going on, right? You have a good life skills going on, your pace is going on, and then suddenly you see that okay, you want to change something and you want to transition to something else. So there is always this resistance, right? Because this is a comfort. You are in your own comfort zone. Now you have to move out of that comfort zone, and you have to go out and then again prepare yourself, present yourself, and deliver yourself, right? Because at some certain, if I say about myself, I was in the software development, I was doing well there, so that was something was proven for me. Come out of that and to again prove myself and to be better, right? So what I feel here is that what students should know that hey, whatever I'm working is working perfectly fine for me, right? Or not. And it is something which make me motivated to go to work the next day or not, or to whatever you are doing, right? It can be work or anything. Whether I am being motivated to go there, give my 100%, more than 100%, and excel there. If it is not, there is no wrong time and right time, or late time, if I say, right? There is always the perfect time to start and to get that transition. If you feel that, hey, this is not something which I love or might not be doing in a longer run of my career, take a pause, think about your other alternate career options, right? And what else you can do. Talk to the other people who are there in the industry, or talk to the other similar people who have been in your place, who might have transitioned from the similar journey. What was their journey, right? What was their thought process? And in this whole journey, what I believe is the mentorship is very important. If you have a good mentor, right, who can teach you that, okay, hey, this is what your thought process, this is what you're thinking, and now you want to do something, this is not a bad time to do that. What society feel, what everyone feel, this is not something that you should think of. You should think of yourself at that point of time. So you have to both, what do you say, uh, as we say in MBA, we do proper risk off metrics, right? Risk trade off. If you do this, what will happen? If you don't do this, what will happen? Do this analysis and then go forward. And I don't think so there will be any problem doing a transition.
Love that. That's, a great point, because a lot of people hesitate shifting their career, at any point of time. My
Yeah.
next question is, at Magic Bricks, you have not just Magic Bricks, actually, you've built a lot of products in a lot of different companies for a lot of other functions, right? You improve retention and engagement significantly. So, as a product manager, what would be your key principles of designing a product or feature that keeps user coming back? And as a student, if I know nothing about product management, what principles should I look up to that adds value to the users and they want to come back to my product?
Sure. I mean, there are, like, if I say, what is product management, right? Product management is basically uh, you are building a product which is going to be used by any end users, right? You know about Blinkit, you know about Swiggy. There are n number of people who are using it. We as a end customers are using it, right? So what is product management is something that it's if I talk about in a technical terms, it's an intersection of your business, your design, your engineering, and everything, right? But if I talk about in layman terms, it's about what user needs it, whether you're going to deliver it in a way which impact their life and improve their life, right? So whatever the features we build, whatever I have been building for the last few years as a product management, the go-to rule has been that if I build it, what will the impact on my users? And the what is if I say uh, the mistake that people do early is that they think that, okay, this is my bias, that I love that this button, if it's there, it's going to help the users. But remove that biasness, talk to the users. And that's what I have been doing it in my career. I have been talking to the users again and again through any source of medium, email, calls, or doing user interviews as much as possible. Because the insights that those users gives, right, what they are doing with your product, how they are liking it or not, and what they want you to build, this is very important. At that point of time, you'll get to know that what is the root cause of something that you are building, what are the problem that you are solving. So never run behind the solution. Whatever the solution you want to build, run behind the problem. If you know the problem, that okay, this is the problem, I'm going to solve it in a better way. So see, knowing a problem at a surface level is very easy. So if I let me give an example. While building at the Magic Bricks, the product that I was building, right, we talked to many customers, and those users give us some insights, and it felt like, okay, this is very big. We'll build this, and it will go off the market. We built it also, and we felt that it was not performing that on a good level. Again, when we interviewed those users, we got to know that no, this was not the problem. This was just a surface level problem. The deeper problem was something else. So
Hmm.
my the what do you say the go-to point will be talk to the users as much as possible in the product management and try to know the problem to the T, that okay, this is the problem I'm trying to solve, and then take the approach that okay, I'll build a solution, I'll test that solution to the smaller number of customers, get their feedback, again improve it, do as much improvement as possible, and then again launch it to the market. And never hesitate to fail. in the PM, because PM journey somewhere you launch 100 products, you'll fail in 99, but the one where you'll get success, the impact will be very good. So, and every time you fail, you have to take those learnings. So that is something, uh, as a PM, I feel we need to do this.
Love that. You have simplified something that sounds very complex, but it's very, the approach should be user centric. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the decision making process should be completely data driven, right?
Yes, yes, totally, totally. I mean, you should never get side from the data that okay, what the data is saying. Sometimes as a PM we feel that okay, hey, my data is saying that this is not working, but it's fine. It's good to have that in your initial stage of the product. What if you launch to the 1 million customers and that point of time it says that okay, hey, data is saying that it's getting failed. That is more what do you say, more bad impact on your product, on your career. So that is something you should not do this.
Right. I absolutely agree that data driven decision plays a super, super important role. But at the same time, data sounds really cool and fancy, right? Everybody wants to work with data, everybody who has data backed decision making. But at the same time, for students, they have no idea what data is and how to use it and how to collect it. So, what's the simplest way to start building or working with a data driven mindset when you have no idea about anything?
I mean, see, as you say that data sounds cool, right? Every time we listen also everywhere, data driven decision, but that is not the case. When the data really comes in front of you, you feel that, okay, the data is never so easy. Data is never so straightforward. The data is always in very unorganized manner, right? So what I used to do in the starting is that whatever data I have, right? And I try to first uh, is the problem statement that okay, hey, let's say my users are falling from 10% from the last week on week or month on month, something like that, right? So what are the three numbers that I require? The three numbers are my users, what's the week on week trend that I have, so week on week numbers I need, what's on month numbers, right? And then I segregate on the level of the platforms, right? It can be Android users, iOS users, like that. So whenever you get a problem, try to break down in two three pieces, and then you have a n number of data, which data pieces tells you those two three things, right? And for that, as a entry level people who are going, let's say some college going students who are trying to go into the data field, try to do as much of guesstimate as possible. Guesstimates helps you to basically sharpen your skills, that how to think about the data. Also, uh, in the real world, there are many unknowns, right? And every time we'll do a guesstimates that okay, my 10% people will come, that okay, this much has happened. If my 20% people will fall off, this much will happen, right? That will come with your guesstimate approach. So try to do as much as guesstimate possible. Also, if you can start doing some simpler courses on analytics or like Excel, how to use Excel in a better way. Because if you know to do Excel in a better way, your life will get simpler. So that is something you can start with, if in a simpler terms, if I say.
Brilliant advice, fully fledged. That's a very practical advice. Anyone who are starting to apply for job today, right?
Yeah.
You have yourself standard out in recruitment. You have landed roles at big companies, Flipkart, Walmart, Philips, so many huge firms. What helped you stand out during the hiring process? Because you were from a software engineering background, and you straight out of MBA, you have started working with big brands. So tell us your secret of standing out of in recruitment process.
But there is nothing like a secret. There are two things, right? When is your CV, right? You also know that thousand of, or I'd say thousand very less, 10,000 number of CVs can come for any one job role, right? How to stand out? The first place is that use those keywords which is relevant to the job that you are applying to, right? That is very important. And not just to use in a junk way, use in a better way. That okay, this is the work that I have done, how much the impact I have seen, right? Because once the recruiter is going through your CV, right, he or she needs to know in a glance that what's the impact you have created in your role. And that is something which I have been following in my CV preparation. If I say that, to show that impact, that is something that this is the work I'm doing, this is the skill set I have, and this is the impact I have. Once that is done in the interview, it is more about the storytelling. So I know many people who know many things, who have very fantastic, what do you say, fantastic work experience, fantastic work that they are doing. But what they're not able to deliver during this interviews is a good storytelling. So every storytelling that, okay, hey, this is the problem I was solving. This is the way I have solved. This is the problems I faced during the solving that problem. This is the impact I have created, right? And what was my contribution? It should always sound that as a team I worked on solving this, and as in my individual contribution, what was there, right? And always be truthful to whatever answer you are giving. So there can be scenarios in your interviews when you don't know anything, right? Just be confident, say that, okay, hey, I don't know this, I might not be knowing this. Don't fluke it at that point of time, or don't say any kind of wrong thing, because one fluke can have a very negative impact on your whole interview process. That's what I feel if I give interviews or if I do something like that. So these are few things which people who is going to apply jobs or going to apply in companies or giving interviews, they should take care of that. One is the good CV preparation, and another obviously is the storytelling, the whatever the job or whatever the things you have written in CV. And the biggest point, whatever you've written in CV, know that from end to end. Just don't write for the sake of writing it, because once interviewer starts asking you a question, right, he or she should will expect that you know that basics of the line that you have written in your CV at least, and some surrounding knowledge of that line also, that what my other systems were doing, right? That is something which is very important.
Right, amazing. So at the same time, like you mentioned, that mention everything, the added value you add to the role, especially for students entering a very, very competitive fields. Like you mentioned, HRs get thousand number of CVs for a specific job opening. So that's a very useful insight that add your expertise and how you stand out. But do you think beyond technical expertise, soft skills also play a huge role? And what kind of soft skills should student focus on to excel in product careers?
I mean, totally. Soft skills are the core of the product management, if I say, right? Because as a product management, you have to talk to many people in your day-to-day life, right? Whatever the day-to-day job you're doing, you're not only sitting on your laptop and doing something. You have to talk to sales, you have to talk to marketing, you have to talk to tech people. Then you have to balance it off at many people jobs, right? There are too many conflicts arising in your product which is happening. You have to take a decision. You have to talk to those. So stakeholder management you have to do. So soft skill is something that you have to show in your interview, right? And that is something which I feel it is properly tested in interviews also. And how to improve it is like, if you feel that you don't have a good speaking skills, or somewhere you don't feel confident, you can do n number of things. There are like n number of things on internet as of now, YouTube as of now. Just go search those things, that okay, how I can speak better. Also try, whenever you are in college, don't get shy and don't do participate in any other activities. Participate in as much as activities as much possible, because that is where your inner, what do you say, that resistance, right? Or resistance, if I say that, okay, I won't be able to do it or not, I won't be able to do it or not, it will go away. And try to participate and take leadership kind of role in your college, like different fest, other things are happening, right? Because I have been in very n number of roles in my college during undergrad and I am Kozhikode days, where I know that a lot of stakeholder conflict happen, and because administration is something saying something else, other vendor is saying something else, we have to come at a common point. That's where you learn that how you manage both the stakeholder, and that's where it will help you in your journey in your career also. So that will be very important if I say about the soft skills. That's it.
Brilliant. That covers everything. Before we wrap up, Aniket, one final question, and that's my personal favorite question. If you could go back to your 25-year-old self with one piece of career advice, what would it be?
Take risk. Don't shy away from taking risk, because you might take risk in your younger self. The getting an advantage or getting a reward of that risk is very high. You might get fail, you might get uh, pushed back a lot, but never like hold yourself, express yourself at any point of time. Take that risk, take that step forward in your career, which is very important, and it will give you the exponential trajectory in a career, but which I feel I should have taken more. I have taken, but I think I should have taken more. I am taking it now. So if my younger self, or to someone who is in college right now and doing anything, take risk. This is a time where you can do anything. You can build your own startup. You can build any business. You can do anything, right? So this is your time to do that.
Brilliant. And again, this has been, packed with insights. You've broken down everything into the simplest thing, simplest word possible. And I think your trajectory has been brilliant, from career transition to building products. That's really, really amazing job. And that too with big companies. So that's commendable. Thank you so
Thank you.
much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Thank you so much for taking our time. It
Thanks.
means a
Thanks a
lot.
lot. Same here.
Thank you
Same.
so much. Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.